4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome. We're here for the 2019 MSB post-draft show. This is we have a big cast and crew over here. We have the captain of 12 Angry Men. We have the captain of, what's the name of your team?
Cobra Kai.
The Cobra Kai season 2 is coming out this season.
Yes.
We have one of the co-captains of David Sabag's Old School.
There is no captain affiliation with Stephen Gindy. I'm here as a representation of Old School only.
Does that come with the puppet territory also? No. And then we have, exactly, and then we have the captain, first-time captain in the league of the, how do you pronounce the name of your team? The Cucumbas, which is from what movie? Old School? Hardball, that's right, okay. So we're going to go through each team one at a time. We're going to discuss their position. We're going to discuss how we think they did in the draft. And I want to hear from these guys more than you guys are going to hear from me. So after we go through each team, Dave's going to take that and hit the gong to go to the next team. There you go. Okay, so we're going to start from the beginning. We're going to start with your team, actually, Old School. Old School is a very young team, so I think it's the youngest team in the league by far.
Steven is the oldest guy on that team.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting. 12 years in the league. It's the youngest team I've ever been a part of, and I am the oldest.
So imagine.
32 years old, I'm the oldest.
Your rookie year was when? 2007. Now imagine you're the oldest guy in the squad.
Yeah, it's a very interesting team.
I have underwear older than you.
We got some 17-year-olds.
You're wearing them now.
I'm wearing them, absolutely.
We got a couple of 17-year-olds, a couple of 19-year-olds. But I think it's the direction we wanted to go. I think I bring the best out of the young guys, which is good.
Well, this is your forte, coaching up these guys. And, you know, let's actually go from the top. We have Sabag. He's playing right field for your team. He's been
with me as long as I've been in the, he's been in the league.
You brought up Sabag. So, and then you have, you're going to be batting 2, I'm guessing, playing shortstop.
It depends. The team happens to be more, missing that big top bat, except for Cronenberg, where I think is going to be that guy. That may be in the 3 or the 2 hole this year.
So let's see, we have Ellie Koenigsberg. He's going to be playing center field, I'm guessing. Jacob Ayala.
I'm not so sure.
Really?
Wow. Word on the street, yeah, we actually talked about it today. Word on the street is that we may have a young center fielder amongst us, and that'll be something we'll hold till the season starts.
Wow.
But yeah, we have.
I'm going to guess who it is when I'm going through your team right now. But so let's say Koenigsberg somewhere in the outfield. Jacob Ayala, big chip on his shoulder. He came in. He didn't get drafted in the night league this past year, so he really was chomping at the bit, wanted to get on the field, and he's excited.
Yeah, I know the Ayala family since they were little, and they're all athletes. We did take him early. We're going to be expecting a lot from him. But the fact that he was able to play left field or infield was a big plus.
I was with Jacob Ayala today.
Really?
You know, we're talking about who's better. Is it Jacob or Richie? Which is the better?
Well, you have
brother
Richie, right?
too. So I have Richie. So of course I was jamming him up. And Jacob's he's anxious to prove that he deserved to be picked where he was picked.
Well, listen, we all know Jacob has a big personality. He has talent, but he's got to put it on the field, and he's got to actually do it before he talks anymore, and he knows that. He knows that the time is now.
I think third base, which is probably his primary position, goes underrated in softball in general, all the leagues.
I agree.
So
I definitely agree.
I played third my whole life.
I think it's almost as important as shortstop in a lot of ways. So
next player I want to talk about, next guy on your team, rookie also, is this guy Richard Jamal. Richard Jamal, he might be your wild card in center field.
Yeah, I think he was definitely the best player available at the time.
I agree.
think that he may have dropped because of some word on the street that he may be a tough cookie, but I don't think that's the case.
I think it's because he wanted to play shortstop, actually, and then there was just, everyone had shortstop locked. And
Sabag did his due diligence. He checked it in advance. He was okay, playing either short center or third base. And I think our infield already between the 3 of us.
And another guy that dropped late was Murray Towell. Murray Towell, you got him in like the 11th round, which I think is the steal of the draft. I watched Murray play for years. He really could hit.
So Murray's reason for his dropping was position, because he's a first baseman, a natural first baseman, and he plays short center. It's a league with a lot of first basemen. So.
Right. So yeah, and then we have this kid Schneur Silverstein. Schneur Silverstein. He has a big personality.
Make Steven say the name, please.
Go ahead.
Silverstein.
No, say Schneur 3 times fast.
Go Silverstein.
So Schneur Silverstein, bottom line is he plays multiple positions also. That's a big plus to have in a league like this. Yep. Second, first, outfield.
Big value.
He has a decent bat from what we saw in the combine. I think he's going to actually be a decent ball player also. Very scrappy. I was a big fan of him. Another kid we have on your team, another wild card for center field, is this kid Nathan Benzakin.
Yeah. Also, I know him when he was little. I knew he was an athlete then. and you know, I got some nice insight.
So I coached Nathan when he was in YDE in 9th grade, and as a 9th grader, from what I remember, he was a very good athlete. Listen, he came a long way. We're talking about 6, 7 years later now. So listen, he's a guy. He's fast. I think he grew. He's tall, but I think he could be another. How old is he? 17, 18, 19?
He's young. He's 19.
He's a young kid. So there you go.
Maybe 21 actually. I'm not sure. I remember the.
21.
I gotta check the papers.
I might be sure. Yeah. Al Manopla, very interesting player over there.
So Al is David's friend, and he. You know, he's on board. He knows that his stats were not the same in years past. He dropped a little bit.
He actually had a player of the week against me when I pitched last year.
I remember that.
And he actually hit like an animal. No one else hit me in that team, but
that's the chip I'm hoping he has this year.
No, he trust me. He let me know about it.
The key to Albert is when he doesn't get on base is that he's productive with the outs. I think, you know, Dave and I spoke about this. Right. A lot of times he'll get home run happy and he'll try to fly one out and it'll end up being a pop instead of getting the runners over type of thing.
I actually played on his team his rookie year in Brooklyn, and he's good. He plateaued a little bit, but I know he went very late in the draft. He almost didn't make a team, so I know he has a big, talk about that chip on the shoulder, he has it because he almost wasn't on a squad. So he has a lot to prove. Next guy, David P. Sutton. David P. Sutton's been in the league for 3 4 years now.
Getting better every single year.
Definitely improving. What's your plan for David P.? I see he has multiple positions over here.
So he does. He's falling under that utility umbrella. I mean, the outfield is going to be pretty secure. I mean, I don't know how to describe this now. I mean, we got 3 guys who aren't moving too much out there. So for him to get outfield spots is going to be through sub, through rotation. But he likes second base. He's going to be catching one of the 2 games.
No, once you have a guy like that, he's a glue guy in your team. Someone that has to catch.
Team first team.
Everyone needs that, and that's what makes you a good captain or non-captain, just to get these guys in line. Next guy is Mark Barsano, second base.
17 years old last year. He played with us with his father.
I know he didn't have a good time at third.
He struggled at third base.
Right.
He's not going to be playing much third base this year, but he'll be rotating through the infield, and hopefully his bat will be there as well.
Dave, how much you drinking over there?
It's delicious.
You good? Okay, good. Next player is, I think, the linchpin of your team, Dan Braun.
Yeah, this is the guy we want to hear about.
We all want to hear. We all want to see.
I know you know something. You know something.
No, well, I'll tell you the truth.
Because I think you reached for him in the draft.
I reached for him. I thought he was Sammy's pick.
Who won that? Sammy knew something.
Well, look at the draft board. We're looking at it right now. Dan Braun, one of the 5th round.
Bottom line is he's a wild card. I don't know anything more than you guys do. Jimmy says he's good, but he said a notch below Mintz, which didn't get picked.
Jimmy also said you're not the favorite for MVP, so you're going to take Jimmy's word for...
Just have his money.
So listen, bottom line, looking at your team, I think you get a solid B- on your draft. Very young.
B-?
B-. It's a good grade.
Brady, come off B-.
Good grade. I'll explain to you. I think you reached on the pitcher. I think you're going to need to be in full coaching mode, and I think you're definitely a playoff team.
Let's bong that.
And
B-.
Not the bong. You need a bong after this. Take the gong. Go, hit it.
Wait, what I want to know is who did the stats of likelihood to win the World Series?
Jimmy Malach. He's the official bookmaker. Yeah.
Jimmy Malach. And he put you guys as the top.
We have so many unknowns. I agree. We're not the favorites.
No? No way. Don't put too much stock into that.
Yeah, I think Jimmy needs some of that.
Guys, you have to understand.
Send over some of that Glenlivet for Jimmy. By the way,
we have almost half the league. Almost half the league are rookies, so it's very hard to predict or do anything. All we can do right now is just guess in a way and put an educated guess.
But Dan Braun is what Steven thinks he is.
Exactly.
And he has a reason for thinking it. He didn't just draft him. He's spoken of. He didn't just draft him, Brandon. He traded up to get him. So there's got to be something there, and there's going to be a lot of pressure on that guy, I think.
Look, let's move on to the next
Steven and I won for many years, and when he didn't take me, that's when he didn't win.
Yes.
So
I didn't have a chance to take you this year, so maybe that's
right. But a little side bet onto who advances further.
It's not even a question. Actually, you have one of the better drafts. If I had to pick a favorite, we'll get to that. But I'm
how much action you have in this bet?
What's the action?
Just a handshake.
Just a handshake?
Nah. Who bats better? Come on.
All right, hit the gong. Next team.
Next.
Go. Hit it.
We'll be here all night.
Good. Next team we're going to be talking about is the Sandlot. The Sandlot is captained by Joe. Who's Sandlot? Joe S. with who's his co-captain? Ira Suss. So I actually think before I get into the team, no one's here to represent them, and I feel bad for them. But I think they had a rough draft. I don't think they have a great team. We'll start from the top.
Some of that draft was set before the draft.
Well, yeah, 100%. We have
go too rough.
like we said, the same thing with you and
Rough
Braun.
part wasn't the locks. It was the
Afterwards. I agree. I think their locks actually put them in position to have a great team, and they didn't fill out the balance of their team. So the way their team's looking right now is you have this guy Iris Suss, who better be all-world, because if he's not all-world, they're in deeper trouble than I thought.
They say he is.
And that's what I heard also, but he better be better than that even.
Who are they comparing him to?
I don't really have a comp. Do we have a comp for Iris Suss?
It's quality of Diamondstein.
If he's Diamondstein, then they're in good shape. Better shape than I think.
Do you like Diamondstein?
I don't know.
I don't think he could, because Diamondstein's really a 3-4 guy.
Right.
And, anyway, so we have Iris Suss, he's leading off, so he's probably not a number 3-4 hitter. He's probably a little faster guy.
If he's 1 through 4, then he's a good hitter.
Okay, true. Joe, we all know Joe. Joe is unbelievable in center field. He's going to have to, from what I'm hearing, make up some ground for left field, because Paneth doesn't have that much range in left. But from what I'm hearing, Paneth played with this guy, Itz, who we're going to talk about it afterwards, and it's the same type of dynamic. So I think them in the outfield, it's not going to be so bad, it's not going to be so rough. And now is when we start getting into question marks. Barry, how old's Barry now? Barry's going to have a renaissance year right now, and Barry's son is going to have to be better than advertised, because their team, like we're going to look at it right now,
He may be the youngest player in the league.
He might be 17. That picture we saw was Barry's son?
Joe took Morty's show as high as he did, because he knew that he had hitters later in Madnick and Paneth.
Right. So Akiva Madnick, we saw him in that day where we had the combine. And listen, Akiva Madnick is. If he hits like that, then he has himself a 4-hitter. If not,
I know he's a hitter.
I hope he is, for Joe's sake, because in the BP session he wasn't really hitting well, and in the actual game session he was he looked good. Jaime Shrieky in the out. Who's his outfield? Jaime Shrieky?
Jaime Shrieky can play outfield.
Outfield, infield, I'm not even sure where he's playing. We have Wedge at third base.
That was best pick.
So yeah, he got him late. And
Wedge dropped a lot.
That's the guy that you wanted and you missed out.
So did I, yeah.
Right,
so we'll get to when we get to
right,
your team.
so when we get to your team,
Yeah, it looks like Shrieky will be right field.
Right field, I'm guessing.
Jackie
Sadia playing.
I think he's putting Jacob in to be.
Jackie's John's brother.
Jackie Sadia is playing the outfield, I believe, as well. Second base?
Yes.
Okay, listen, there's too many question marks.
I know the answer.
Jacob Antibee, Barry's son's playing the outfield. I thought he was an infielder when he drafted him, but I was wrong. And then he has his brother-in-law, Masselton, and Morty Shrem, and Shalou. So if you're looking at the team up and down, I think it's weak.
Defense. They need defense.
Defense, I think they need help. If you're giving him a draft grade...
I played with Morty a few times. Morty's a very good defender.
But last year he didn't hit. Last year he didn't hit.
He's not about yet. He's young, but he could come around.
He could come around. I think he was very nervous last year too. I think he was very nervous in the league. And
draft grades make you feel good about yours. Draft grade C+.
So we're a half of...
No.
You might be minus C+.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
That's a half of...
You're Joe. That's it. You're good to go.
Right.
C+. And you know what? I might even change it to a C, thinking about it now, but if Suss is not as good as advertised, I think they're in for a really long season. I don't love this team defensively. I think Joe needs to really step it up even more than usual to carry his team. But listen, he's done it before. Last year with a really weak team, he took him to the World Series. So you never know, Joe. Never count him out.
The question is, they have a decent lineup, but are you going to let Joe beat you? Because I don't see the guy.
I would walk Joe every single time. He's going to kill me at the same time.
That's a great point.
No, I agree.
Generally,
let me make a note of that.
Walk Joe.
Walk Joe. Listen, he's illegally in walks. That's my prediction from now. All right, gong it up. There you go. Next team we're going to talk about is Major League. It's captained by Sammy Esses and DT. This team, again, I'm not 1,000% sure how they're going to fare out, but I do like their lineup. They have a really good lineup. Leading off for them, welcome back to the league, is Elliot Mann playing left field. I think he's in for a really big year. Guys had trepidation about him going into the draft, but I talked to him a lot. He's in game shape. He's at the pages. He's a good ball player.
I wanted to draft Elliot, actually. I was going to draft him.
Elliot,
Elliot told me. I spoke to him. Great kid, great guy.
I love that.
That was the move of the draft.
And he told me that he really would prefer to play left or center. I had him penciled in for right. I respect that. Not that he didn't want to play for us, but he just said that's where I prefer. And so I ended up trading back a little bit, and Sammy traded up to get him.
Yeah, no, I think he made a really smart.
The only question is with him because he hasn't played in a while.
So yeah, no, but again, he was good when he played.
He's not slow.
He played in the YMSL.
He played once in a while. He had some knee problems. He had some, you know.
So then
he's okay now.
Right,
his team is top heavy.
Now batting 2 on his team. I saw him in Shul today. Is Chaz? He loves his team. He loves the guys.
Chaz
he loves
underrated.
Very underrated.
You know what's funny?
Chaz playing infield.
He's playing short center field. Ever since Chaz made that career move, moving himself to the infield, he really increases value. Very smart. People should know when they get older and they have a way to change their spot. Cat's go wherever he is. Now, batting third, all right, Cat's going to step out for a second. Batting third, we have Yankee Itz. From what we're hearing from everybody, he's after Joe, or maybe even better than Joe, as up there as the best center fielder in the league. I've seen him play a few times. He's quick. He doesn't look quick because he has a little bit of a belly now, but he's quick. He's got a lethal bat on bull all the time.
He's a guy to Jimmy, right?
No, that's Archie.
That's Archie.
And then batting next, that leads into their 4-hitter is Archie. Archie is all world. There's no other way to put it. The way the ball comes off Archie's bat, it's second to none in the league, and he's going to be a guy that
What's their lineup going to look like?
So we're talking about right now, Man, Chaz, Itz, and now Archie batting 4. So now Archie batting 4, if there's guys on base, you're not going to be able to walk him. Protecting him is going to be Sammy. So a lot of pressure is going to be on Sammy Esses. Wow. Because if Sammy Esses doesn't come through, then you waste the opportunities of having Man, Chaz, and Itzkowitz and Archie on base before him. And then protecting Sammy is actually Vic Busu. Vic lost like 60 pounds. Last year he played, the power was not there, so it didn't translate yet.
He was always a singles hitter anyway, so it's probably better for him.
Is it? I don't know. Those line drives.
The transition would show more in the defensive than the
as do I, and he's catching for them, so we'll see. After that is DT. DT he won the World Series last year, so he's coming off the best year of his life. And then we have a wild card over here, Yumi Grun in right field. Yumi Grun, he came in together with Itz and Archie. And just from what I spoke to Itzkowitz about this guy, he said, I'll be very happy with him in right field on my team. And if he's coming from him, I trust him. Hitting-wise, the jury's still out. I have no idea. You all right?
Great outfield, by the way.
Good. Good. And then we have Batesh batting 9. And then we have the tag team of Wayne Gordon, Whamma, who's a really good glove at wherever he plays in the infield, in the 10th spot.
Actually, funny with Batesh, I found out yesterday, actually, he's my first cousin. I didn't even see his name on the board.
Is that the kid that was
making worse?
He's from
we're in talks to see if we can get him on my team.
Maneuvering there, some family action. Listen, their defense.
Yes, that's what
that was the sleeper. Nobody knew who he was.
The starting shortstop on Flatbush. Oh, yeah, so I have a lot of high hopes for this guy. DT tells me after the draft, after we took him, by the way, I just got the starting shortstop of Flatbush for 3 years.
David Harari's first cousin.
Good job, David. Exactly. First cousin, yeah. Overall, their draft gets a B+. Their defense is really, really strong. Their lineup is solid. It all boils down to one guy over here. The reason why I didn't give him an A. Mark Cohen. It's all on his arm and his shoulders. If he melts down, how is a guy like it's in Archie, who played with him allegedly, how are they going to fare? We heard yesterday that Archie actually could pitch.
Yes.
Shimmy Cohen said he pitched on his team in Brooklyn, in Israel for 2 years. So listen, they do have a built-in backup plan. Maybe that's why they didn't take Mintz later in the draft, because maybe they did know something. But listen, if Mark is going well, he can keep his composure, this team can go far. And you know what? Very apropos, their team name is Major League. Mark is Ricky Vaughn. He's the wild thing. If he can keep his composure, if he can not walk at the world, they're going to do well.
Mark means everything.
Any other closing comments on their team?
As always.
As always, exactly. Gong it up. Next team. Woo! Next team are Melech's team, the Mighty Ducks. So this team, Jojo Yaakov Saruya, they are the linchpin of his team. Yes.
Any one of the first 2 guys on any team can dictate the season for a team. We know that. So when you're talking about a draft and how strong a team is, we're really looking from the 3rd round, the 3rd pick.
For sure. Because every one of the top 2 guys, they should be good enough, and that's the way we broke it down this year. So in case you guys didn't know, every captain had an opportunity to draft a tandem up top. So this team's tandem, the Mighty Ducks, was Yakov and JoJo Saruya. Last year, they carried their team. They carried the Magic Grits to the World Series, and they won. And JoJo was All-World, and Yakov won Cy Young, and they were MVP and Cy. They had it all. So, and somehow, some way, a team that's those two players who are coming off all the accolades, they still feel like they're the underdog. I don't know how Melech did it. I don't know how he's doing it, but they feel like people are not respecting them.
You know, they took a couple of picks early in the draft, which in my mind were questionable picks.
Who?
Young guys, Joey Batesh.
Yes. Joe B's been in the league for years.
He's been in the league, but I don't think that he's and he's my boy. I love Joey, but I think he was taken a little bit early.
I think at the time of the draft he was the best bat on the board. I really do. I believe so. Yeah.
And Lawrence,
Joe carries the bat.
He played in the outfield.
And with us last year, look, he was a little
Lawrence Kurtz.
Listen, Lawrence
Kurtz, he picked pretty early in the draft.
It's funny, that combine really did a lot because he saw him, he looked good, and he took him.
He took him pretty early.
I mean,
I was right. All my buddies, all right, and I had Lawrence on my clipboard, also on my radar, but not for. At least
well, let's actually go through their lineup. Leading off for them is Lawrence Kurtz playing left field.
A lot of
pressure for a rookie. And
17 years old.
Center field.
Young kid. Left field. Left field. Playing shortstop, batting 2 is JoJo Saruya. Not batting 3 or 4. I actually like the move.
Which is very. Look, your best hitter should be 2.
That's what he batted for me in the summer. For the 2 years I played with him.
JoJo's over.
That's where he belongs.
Melech saw that, and
because he can wreck a game with his speed also. He's really good on the bases as well, and he gets on. He knows how to get on base.
Batting 3, and again, you had a question: can he hit and pitch at the same time? We know Yakov thinks that's blasphemy.
No, I agree with Rick.
My father would always say, David Can.
It's not easy to pitch and hit.
It's a different approach to play. You're
right.
more focused.
Hey, you know what? Listen, I know I didn't have a great year last year on the mound.
And it's not obviously we saw
it didn't affect my hitting.
It absolutely affects you.
It didn't.
I'll say.
You didn't have a good year on the mound.
Look, on our team, that was probably the one thing that worked out for us all years.
Anyway,
but Yakov, we all know Yakov can hit.
Yakov in the summer carried Shim Shady in the summer into the World Series, and even in the World Series.
Listen, I played against him in that World Series. He was by far the scariest hitter on that team, and that was a team with Zach Ashkenazi and some others.
He was scary.
But the reason I asked that question, it's not that I think he can't do it, it's that he hasn't done it yet.
Right.
And until you do it.
He's 24 years old. He's in great shape. He's in the cages 3 times a week. I'm confident.
We're not going to be shocked if he does hit.
More of a mental thing, though. He's got to pitch. He's got to concentrate. These lineups are not what he faced last year.
Right. Last year when he won the Cy Young, let's call it spade a spade. The lineups were very weak. The whole second half of every single team was weak. So.
Yeah, they were weak for everyone. He pitched great. He pitched unbelievable. They won. He had great defense.
He pitched on the lineups.
This year, he's going to have to do it against better hitters.
Batting
and
4.
Then carry them batting.
Right. Batting 4 is actually the captain, Michael Solomon. He's streaky. He is streaky.
He's gotten a lot better than he was.
But he's streaky. If Melech is not going well, I can see him shuffling around this
Not only that, if the team meshes, he'll be fine.
And listen, and backing him up is, like you said, you don't like this pick, but I did, was Joey Batesh. Joey Batesh is actually going to be playing center field for him this year.
Whoa.
Last year, he did not play well in center field. He was on our team. He misjudged balls, but I think with proper coaching...
There's going to be a lot of 4 outfielders on that
team. But also, he has Kurtz in the outfield.
You already said that. It's going on 4.
He might have to.
He has to.
So if he goes 4, then it's not really center field.
Right, so center-ish. But again, he's going to need someone to control him out there. And he didn't do a good job last year when we had that. And listen, last year was a disaster for us. But either way, Joe B's going to have to be a better version of himself in the outfield. Batting 6th is going to be Yakov Weiss, another rookie. He's actually Melech's age. I know him very well.
I think he's his roommate.
He's not his roommate. No, he works next to him in his office next to him in work.
That's what it is.
Yeah, really nice guy.
So you had to take him.
You had to take him. No, for this, I played with him also. He's actually from Miami. Decent third baseman, biggish guy, good hitter. He's good. He's good. No one really knows much about him. I don't think he's going to be an all-world.
You want to know why we didn't hear this before?
I want to hear about Joe Gindy because which Joe Gindy is going to show up this season?
That's a great question.
3 years ago, first season in the league, he was unbelievable.
Just told Joe Gindy, right?
Listen, all I know
major drop-off.
I saw where he picked him, and if you look at Joe Gindy, and I don't know Joe Gindy, but he picked him very early.
Early?
Very early.
Yeah, he went
He picked him before I picked.
Okay, maybe you're right.
Joe Gindy went in the same round as...
Which kid you get?
7th round.
But again, if you look at his stats last year,
2 seasons he played?
2 seasons.
Last year
he had a couple of home runs, a couple of triples. The year after, 0.
I think if he's coached properly, he could be a really
and
good
he's
player.
a JoJo Yakov guy. That's my understanding.
There you go.
He's a JoJo Yakov guy, so and he's a Gindi, so he can't be too bad. He's a Gindi.
No relation? Relation. That's
why he's family.
Exactly. Anyway,
I think they know something we don't.
Batting 8th is David Dweck. David is a good hitter, contact hitter. He had a couple home runs for you 2 years ago, right?
Great guy to have on the team.
Yes.
Yeah, he's a glue guy, one of those guys you're happy with, and he meshes well.
Slide once in a while. But.
No, he'll never get dirty. That's one thing I'll tell you. Even when he was younger, he'll never get dirty. He won't do it. But put him at second base. He's bat him 7th, 8th. You're very happy with a guy like that on your team. And then batting 9th, you have a combination. They're going to interchange it of Steven Asul and the ass.
Going to get dirty.
Steven Asul and the ass man's always dirty.
Always dirty.
And then you have my nephew. And then you have my nephew Aaron Levy, rookie also. So, but listen, we know the ass man. He's also another glue guy type of guy. Happy to catch, happy to do it all, happy to play short center, whatever you want to do.
I wanted Steven.
Everyone loves Steven. He's the guy. He's the man. And then my nephew Aaron, making his debut in these leagues, young kid. He's I think he's 19 or 20 years old. Lefty. We saw him in the combine.
He's good.
Contact hitter, I think, with coaching also.
The field is an issue, I think.
He can play right field. If they play 4 across, they'll be happy with him in right field.
Right.
Or first, whatever they may do with him. And then to round it out, we have their other co-captain, Joey Levy, who finally got his opportunity to be a captain, and also slotted in that same spot as veteran Morris Cohen. Morris Cohen, we know, also works in that B&H contingent with Melef and Weiss, so they're all going to be carpooling in from work together on Sundays. And listen, I think I actually like this team a lot. I think they're stacked.
I think a lot of this team falls on Kurtz and Saruya.
I think they're good.
Kurtz is coming into this league with a huge amount of pressure.
This was a team picked on specific spots filling. There's no best player available picks. There's no duplicate position picks. He went with, I want this guy to fill this role.
You know what? I think he drafted and he put together a nice puzzle, and I think the Sarus are primed to repeat. I think they're the favorites going in my opinion. You could disagree all you want. Like you said before,
yeah, I disagree.
If Kurtz plays well in left field and Joe B actually wakes up and has a year like he had 2 years ago when we all wanted him, I think this team's the favorites. 4
across Joe B will be fine. Hitting Joe B will be fine.
And that's they have the players for that.
Could Kurtz come in with the pressure on him and understand?
But I think they have enough players all around. I don't
think we know enough about their infield. I mean, we know JoJo's going to lock down.
JoJo's playing sure.
But after that, I don't know how they handle third. Right. So I don't know how they are around the infield besides JoJo. If their infield is solid, then their outfield and they play 4 across. Because if they're playing 4 across, that means up the middle, JoJo can cover ground, but who's playing second and covering all that?
Say short center field, you have.
There's no short center field. They're playing 4 across.
If they don't,
Dweck is a good second baseman, but he's not mobile.
No,
right.
Listen, I don't. Yakov is going to get better as a pitcher this year.
So my draft grade for these guys are A-. I love their team. I think if Kurtz does well and Joe B does well, then they're primed to win the World Series, and the Series are going to win back-to-back years. And I know you guys disagree, and I hear why. It's not.
I'm not saying I disagree. I don't know enough about.
We don't disagree.
Next team, I think is the A+ draft.
Gong it up. 12 angry men, led by this guy over here, David Catton, with Diamondstein.
Let me give you some of our thoughts in going into this draft. We know that in this league, it boils down, of course, hitting is very important, but it boils down to you want a winning team, you got to have pitching and you got to have defense. Nothing frustrates a team more than errors in the field, and nothing frustrates a pitcher and gets him more out of sync than that. So I think in Michael Diamondstein, which was one of our locks, we have a pitcher that is one of the top in the league. I don't think there's any dispute about that. No debate about that.
He's top 2 or 3, definitely.
Right.
Yes.
And then we went into the draft together with Michael Diamondstein. We did this draft, filling positions in defense, and we were also very fortunate that at the same time to put together what I consider to be a very rock solid lineup. You know, as far as the left side of the infield, where we have Yakov Gutman at shortstop, who is potentially, probably the best shortstop in the league.
I mean,
right? Yeah, I love it. Okay, we
you should have shot up Casemiro.
Next.
No, keep on going. Go ahead.
Okay, so we also have Sandy Berger at third, who's arguably the best third baseman in the league.
Next.
By the way, you're not saying anything wrong.
He is the best third baseman in the league.
Right? And then what the key to our draft, I believe, is that we were able to hold off on picking up our outfielders, but at the same time we were able to pick up a very good defensive outfield, anchored by Leo Estes in center field, who's as far as
the last center fielder left. And you got him in the 8th round.
We got lucky, and he's going to cover a lot of ground. He plays a great center field, and yes, we know his bat is not as strong as some of the other outfielders in there.
You didn't even get to Ayal Kid yet at second base.
Right, I didn't even get to the rest of the infield. But then, as far as the rest of the outfield, where we have Isaac Sasson, young kid, did really well in the combine. You know, and looked like he covers a lot of ground. It looks like he can hit.
He can cover center field. It looked like.
Yes, he was. If we didn't get Leo Estes, Isaac was going to play center field. I already questioned him about that before we got Leo Estes, but now we got Leo Estes.
What was his response?
He says, no problem, very confident, I can cover it, no problem like that, which was very bold for a 17-year-old. Then we got Elias Dusowitz in the outfield as well.
Tell me more about this kid Dusowitz, because really I couldn't get a book on him. I asked a lot of guys. I heard one decent report, but after that I went cold.
I don't really know. I went based on Michael Diamondstein's recommendation on it, where he said, look, very solid outfielder, very decent, pretty good hitter, has some pop,
really?
And will be a nice addition to the lineup. But look, in our lineup, I'm figuring down in the
I'm looking at the lineup you gave me. Is this your actual lineup? You gave me Dennis?
No,
I can't.
No. That's not. And then the rest of the infield, I got Richie Ayal, who, from what I'm hearing, is the better of the Ayal brothers, as I said, and he's psyched to play, my next door neighbor, and he's ready to roll.
Second baseman on one.
Starting second baseman, and it's also very convenient because he can give me a lift to the games. At first base, we got.
Drives yet, Dave.
Now I understand. Now he drives.
Nehemiah Lieberman and Moshe
this guy Nick Lieberman, who's roommates with Berger. Nick Lieberman.
He is supposedly an excellently defensive first baseman.
You sound like Doug Mankiewicz.
And I heard he was Berger's. My understanding, he went with Berger. He was Berger's
He wanted to be
baseman.
on the team. He wanted to be with Sandy Berger. Right, exactly. And from what I'm understanding, he gobbles up everything at first base. And we also have Moshe Danny. And I'm not even going to go into. Then we picked up Jack Beebe, who's a tremendous
great
bat.
spot also.
So no question to me. There's no question. He
I agree with you. Listen,
he's an A draft.
My draft grade for you was an A+. I think your team is really, really strong. I think you have the best defense all around.
And the lineup is deep all the way to 8 and 9.
What about my criticism to your team? What do I feel like you were missing? A lot of Ashkenaz guys, and you're
I need to learn Yiddish. I'm going to class to learn Yiddish because 2/3 of my team is Ashkenazi. We love them,
missing the.
I think also what we gained is a lot of the Ashkenaz players, which I think some of the other teams around here were not really drafting in the Ashkenaz players because they didn't know them. Having Michael Diamondstein with me doing the draft, I think was a tremendous benefit to us because I had even though Michael was open to
a big leg up.
everybody. I mean, every time I was looking at my picks, I was saying, okay, the next 2 teams after me don't have one Ashkenazi guy on the team, so I said we could always wait to take whoever we wanted to take.
I think you have just enough hitting, and you have the best defense and a top pitcher. Right. So right now, to me, I think you have the best team in the league. And listen, it's only on paper, obviously, but hit the gong. Let's go to the next one.
Next.
I think it's so loud. Okay. Next team is Ray Estes' team, Cobra Kai. Your team, let's go through one at a time. Looking at the lineup that you gave me, I don't know if you want me to say it out loud because you said it's like more of the hush-hush.
It's not hush-hush.
I love Ray's team.
So I love your team also.
Didn't Cobra Kai lose in the whole Jiu-Jitsu tournament?
Jiu-Jitsu?
Didn't they? Didn't they lose?
Karate Kid.
Yeah, in the Jiu-Jitsu Karate Kid tournament. They lost, actually.
Yes, but you're not aware of the new series.
The new series on TV, Cobra Kai
wins.
Cobra Kai is the
How could they change?
It doesn't make a difference. Cobra Kai, leading off with your team, we have Albert H. Dweck, I believe. Did he win the batting title last year?
He did win the batting title. All of his softball experiences with Stephen Gidley, who clearly didn't value him high enough.
We had a very specific rule with Albert H. Dweck. He went 12th round the first time I took him, 11th round the next year I took him, and 10th round the year after. I told him 9th round, fair.
And then what round did he go in?
Except you took someone you never saw before.
Albert H went in the 6th round,
right,
the highest he was ever drafted.
So, yeah, so
I'm going to take credit for Albert's, increased the batting average. It's we've been coaching him for the last couple of years. He comes to my house and hits at the batting cage every night. And now since he's not on my team, so
how does this explain your 350 average last year? Anyway, batting 2, and he's also coming in hungry as Bobby Safdie because no one's evaluating him as. Listen, it was unbelievable. Bobby he hits like an animal. He's the most underrated defensive left fielder in the league. I love Bobby.
You're doing all my talking for me. Bobby's great.
Bobby's
the best. I love playing with him.
I think the question mark with him was the label.
No question about it.
We'll get there. But he has enough guys around him. Like we have Mark Richter batting next, who is, if you look at his numbers, he's an MVP candidate every year since he's in the league.
Best hitting team by far.
Their team is stacked. Mark Richter, really unbelievable player. Best defensive first baseman without a doubt by far. And you look at his offense, he's probably the best offense.
I'll say it now just because as we go through this, you're going to see it because it's a theme. But great guys up and down the roster, and that was the goal. I wanted great guys who knew how to hit that field,
character guys,
and who were going to get along well together.
To counterbalance you.
Yes, exactly.
Batman. And then we have batting after Mark Richter, Natan Safdie playing center field. Natan, he was very disrespected. He wasn't counted on the MVP odds, and he told me, "Put the name on the trophy from now. It's mine." He's hungry. And he wasn't as committed as he was, but once he committed, he was all in.
Correct, and I made sure of that before
you took it.
I was nervous about it, but
how did he bat last year, by the way?
He batted well, but he was inconsistent. He wasn't happy with the way he played.
But now I know Natan
Listen, the problem is with Natan is why go for the power? You got so much speed.
I don't think he gets enough respect.
The guy could have a 900.
He scares me
lefty center field
opposition.
And now we're saying that. He was always.
I'm going to give him a little bit of a defense here because the last 2 years he really was counted on. Him and Bobby were really the big bats in the lineup, and there was really not much around them.
Yeah, that's
a lot of pressure. There's a lot of pressure. Now you're talking about you throw in the Richters around them and all the other guys, and with Albert, there's going to be guys on base.
Like you said, there's so many guys.
Is shortstop.
So Albert Richter's going to be playing shortstop.
Big question.
I ran into Albert today at the Civic. And he's hungry. He's ready.
He's
a good player, but it's a lot of responsibility.
He was inconsistent. He had a few really good weeks defensively. And he was young. How old is he? He's a young kid.
He's a young kid. He's 20 years old.
20, so I think he's only improving.
He's a great kid. He's a great athlete, and I've seen him play the position. Is he flawless? No, but what young kid is? But he's going to have a good infield around him at every position,
for sure.
And I think he's going to do just fine because he's gotten better as he's gone.
And his arm is.
If he plays well, they're going to be hard to beat.
Right. Listen, and then we have a questionable pick on Label Gordon. I think you reached for him a little bit.
I know I reached for him a little bit, but I did it for a reason. When I saw him at the combine and when I spoke to him before the draft and after the draft, just to confirm, the guy's a gamer. He does not stop talking about ball, and I love guys like that.
He's all in. He's all in.
He knew a lot, as David was saying, about knowing a lot of these guys that are coming in. He gave me a lot of insight onto a lot of guys after I took him. It's not why I really drafted him, but he plays second base, really good defensively.
You didn't take one Ashkenazi.
Because he was picking right before me.
I think a very important part of your team is your starting pitcher, Eddie Harari. You made sure to get him when you got him. And that was the last good, we'll say, quality starter on the board when you got him, and it was a very smart pick, and it made your draft good.
I will say, playing with Eddie in the summer, he does feed the left side of the infield a lot.
And Ray's playing third. Ray can handle third, and we'll see if Richter can handle shortstop. That's a very important thing. So
I love the kid. Also, he's a young guy. Last year in the summer league, he was coming to watch. Like we have nothing better to do, married guys, but going to watch games. He was there almost every night watching games, trying to learn what he could, talking softball.
Let me tell you something.
Asking questions.
He's an ace in the making. He's not there yet, but he's an ace in the making, and I think he might take a big step this year. To round out your team, you have A.B. Shabbat, Alan Jamal, Ray
the outfielder.
Wait, and you're going to talk about these guys in a minute. Ray Levy and Coney at catcher. So tell me about those last 3-4 players.
Well, first of all, Coney's been in the league for a while. He's a great catcher. Again, great character guy. Good singles hitter. He was a Gold Glove catcher last year. I think he's going to be great for Eddie. And then Ray Levy, Alan Shabbat, and Alan Jamal and Abe Shabbat. All of them really can play outfield. A couple of them know they could play in the infield if need be. And it's really we're going to see. We're going to see who steps up and who could lock down. Bobby's going to be in left, Natan's going to be in center, but right field, short center, and positions like that, we're going to see. And it's going to be a mix and match. But a lot of really good things about Abe Shabbat and Alan Jamal. They're new to the league, and a couple of guys on my team are very high on both.
My draft grade for you was A-. I think the Eddie Harari pick made your team. Without him, you were in deep trouble. And the tandems you have with the brothers, and the Richters and the Safdies, I think you're also a top 3 team in this league. And you came into the draft questioning whether your position was going to be, whether it makes it fair or not because of the tandems that you got later, but it ended up working out to your benefit from how it was.
Once the draft started playing out, I realized that we were going to have the deepest team, and I think we do.
Depth is right there, exactly. Gong it up, next team. 2?
Skipping one?
All right, no, now we have the Kakambas, which is David Harari's captain debut in Brooklyn. You came in with a pre-draft of already a few players in your team. We have Ralph Hannon, first-time pitcher in this league. We already saw him win MVP in M&S Night League 2 seasons ago.
I don't think anything needs to be said.
Nothing. I think right now, even before the first pitch is thrown, that he's the favorite to win Cy Young over everybody, over Diamondstein, over
Listen, Ralph can pitch,
and
Ralph can hit.
And I think this pressure-ish free environment of what we're going to have, I think he's going to thrive in.
There's a lot of pressure on him.
No, I think his team I'm talking about.
I'm talking about
Look, I'll give you the rundown. I'll similar to
no, for sure.
So my whole thought process, first things when we went into the draft, obviously we came in with a certain amount of players. I didn't know any of the guys, especially also even the Brooklyn guys that were here. I didn't know many of them, but I would tell you that what we wanted to do was make sure that we were safe pretty much at every position that we chose. Obviously, towards the end, we like mentioned third base.
Right, that's your one hole you have.
But again, if we just go down the list here, Joey Cohen, lockdown shortstop, hasn't played in a while, but again, not much.
But what do you call in a while? He played less than 2 years ago.
He's a lockdown.
He's 20, so come on.
He's a lockdown
defensive shortstop.
He's a gamer.
As he compared to Morty Shrem.
No, he's better. No, he's head and heels over.
It's not even a question. It's not even a question.
And you said Joe.
The question is with him is can he hit, and I think he'll be fine.
Joe goes in lead off for you. I think it's a good spot for
Ray doesn't agree.
No, I just think Morty's better than you guys are giving him credit for.
I'm not saying that.
I played with Joe.
Morty is fantastic, but Joe is better.
As I said, I played with Morty. I know Morty very well.
You played with him a year before he actually came out into the
Listen,
Morty.
Morty
was the last time he played.
No, it wasn't. He played spring the following spring.
No, it was spring before. But okay, he played great in spring.
Listen, I think trying to compare Joey to Morty, it's just.
It's a simple question.
No, but again, Joey is a proven shortstop.
I think Joey could add a lot offensively.
So I think your team underrated has an interesting mix because you have Joey Cohen leading off. You have batting 2 is DC, who I love on your team right now.
So the thought
welcome back to the league.
That was his best veteran.
Yeah, great pick.
That was his best draft.
Veteran center fielder. If you look at his stats over the years, high on base percentage.
He's very excited to be in the league.
And I gotta say something. Another thing was that we did want to make it a team that we felt will mesh together and have each other's backs. And that's something that if you look at the names that we chose down
there. You know what's funny? I just realized it now because you have Ralph batting 3rd and you have Hank DeWeck batting 4th. Hank DeWeck and David Harari batting 5th. Do you know your team has 3 M&S MVPs on your squad? Ralph Hannon won the MVP. You won the MVP quite a few years back. You got engaged, you remember? Yes. And Hank DeWeck won this past summer.
From there.
So, but I'm just looking at it right now. You have a lot of offense, a lot of fireworks over there. And then you have batting 6, a rookie. I have a lot of high hopes for this kid, Moshe Nahum.
So really, I went off a lot of your words that you said, and I went off the combine video.
I called him before you drafted him.
I did speak to him.
Who else did you call before you drafted him?
When you got on the plane.
Who else did you call before you drafted him?
A lot of people I called actually spoke
I just want to know, David Harari holds the record for longest in between draft picks. He shattered Catton's record by a wide margin.
I did.
That was a disaster.
I think that team is this guy's out of position.
Who's out of position?
They have a bunch of first basemen.
Hank DeWeck's in right field.
So again, I'll go down the list.
DC was a left fielder more than
So really, we want to put Hank. Obviously, Hank again, major bat, huge part of our lineup.
He's the first baseman.
He's going to be right
somewhere else.
He's right.
First base is DH.
He's right.
I've seen this guy in the outfield.
He's going to be.
I have.
He's going to be fine.
Yeah.
You have David DC.
Played on the Michael Solomon teams in the summer for 2 years.
Yeah, I'm not worried.
Those guys won so many championships.
No, they lost in the World Series twice.
I'm kidding. No, they had a lot.
Listen, Hank is going to do fine in right field. We have DC again, veteran, high on base percentage, lockdown center field. So Nahum now coming down to Nahum.
I'm very excited about
you
Nahum.
were very high. I am look, if I get anything from him hitting wise, I feel like it's gravy. And as far as left field, he said he's a lockdown, so I'm going to take him.
And now his grandfather's coming to the games.
He can come.
Tell us about
I spoke to him.
This is the guy who I met.
Tell us about Mintz.
Well, not yet.
Okay, wait.
Let's get
Then we picked Hebrew Hammers. So Hebrew Hammers is out, the most questionable pick.
Tell them who Hebrew Hammers' name actually is.
Hebrew Hammers, Joe DeWeck. So Joe DeWeck was subbed in your night league last year for Ray.
Yes, he did.
So for Ray. Against Steven.
In a playoff game, they allow the commissioners.
Anyway, he comes in and he's just roping the ball on video. Not only that, there's the Israel videos of him crushing balls. And to me, the question is, can he handle the pressure?
The World Star video.
Look, I look at it this way. He's trying to enter all these leagues, the night league. He's coming in very hungry. Is there pressure on him? I think there was pressure when he subbed for Ray in the night league.
No pressure on him. He'll be fine. He loves to hit. He loves to play.
Again, it was a questionable pick, but after watching him, again, that bat and that swing.
I want to talk about A.B. DeWeck. A.B. hasn't played on a field. I think that was the last time he played was with me on a field.
Yeah, I think I was with you.
And we're talking about 10 years ago.
Yeah, so
if he can still handle defense the way he did, you guys have yourself a player. He's never much of a hitter.
Listen, AB's a contact style hitter.
No, he's not really a first. He's not built like a first baseman.
So I have AB locked in at short center. I think he'll be able to handle the position. I think with Joe on his left, my brother. If you want to talk about my brother now, my brother is a lockdown second baseman.
Ellie's good.
A lot of people questioning why don't you move him to third. I don't want to move somebody who's so good at one position.
Well, that's a question right now because you might have to.
Again, if we have to,
at the spot in the draft where you wanted to take.
Who's playing third right now?
So
right now, Mintz is out at third.
So now they called Knuckle Mintz. He's really a starting pitcher. He thought he was coming in to pitch. We know he's not pitching unless Ralph's missing any time, which they hope he does.
What did he say?
And he said
he was on board. He wants to play. He was dead honest with us.
I watched him at the combine, and he made a few plays
up the middle.
He did. It's true.
He's got a quick glove, which is what you need at third.
Listen, so he told me at worst he's a 7. Is what he told me. At worst, I'm a 7, and you know what?
Out of 10 or 100?
Out of 10. I hope out of 10. I didn't even say. I hope out of 10. But he said he's at worst a 7, and I just look at my board. I don't know if anyone would agree here. I think it's the only spot that is questionable.
It's third base.
Anywhere, any position that we have. I think our outfield is locked down with DC Nahum. I think our infield is locked down with Joey.
Well, you have to hope Hank can handle.
How do you compare a lockdown outfield like that? They're good outfielders. But you look at Ray's outfield, and you got the two Safdie brothers without even talking about a third outfield.
So again, I think Ray has a better outfield than I do. I would 100%. But it was a way. But if you look, I actually made a trade. I traded my 19th to DT for his 12th, and I took 2 of the 3 outfielders that were available. They were Kurtz, Nahum, and DC. And with those picks, I took DC and Nahum.
Right.
And then obviously Mike went with Kurtz afterwards, and I did want Kurtz too.
So I know you did. So I think, listen, I think somehow, some way, you botched it by not getting a third baseman with so many positions covered.
Right, I could have, where I took Joe DeWeck the hammer, I was able.
I know, but that's why he's just taking one. All he needed to do was one.
The problem was, listen, so I want to explain to you. After my 19th, I had a 39th pick, and that's where I took the hammer. I could have taken where Joe West wedge, but I took the risk. The reason why also I took the risk, after speaking with some of my players, we believe the teams that get far, you got to take a risk. If you're just playing it safe at every position, with you know what we're getting, but down here,
like we said, if Mintz can handle third base, your team will be fine. You have one of the best pitchers, if not the best pitcher. You have a great shortstop. You have a great offense.
I think right off the bat we have the best pitcher, best defensive shortstop, other than Stephen Gindy.
I think your draft grade is a B minus.
Again, I gotta see what Gutman can do. He looked like Gutman can look like he can play. I saw him in the
he's the second best defensive shortstop in the league.
I don't think he is. Okay,
this is what
I think he's upper echelon.
You're saying he's a better defensive shortstop than Joe DeWeck?
Who?
You saying that Joey Cohen's a better defensive?
Listen, off the bat, JoJo Suri is better. Gutman, I think, is better.
Look,
Stevens better.
JoJo's the number one player in the league, so I'm not going to say.
He's top four. He's top four for sure.
I would say he's 3 with Gutman showing what he could do. Again, Gutman's coming in very.
Draft grade B-. I think your team is fine. If Minsk can handle third base, your team will be more than fine. So far, like we see the theme, every team is pretty much good. There's good players everywhere. Let's move on to the final team. Hit that gong.
It is getting loud.
All right, we're saving it. We're saving the last team right now, the usual suspects, and I think their team name is right there. It's very suspect. I'm not sure this team. There's a lot of personalities here. A little too many personalities, in my opinion. But Jack Harari is not a vocal leader. He's very much of a quiet guy. But I think if his team does rally around each other the right way, they will be fine. But listen, I've seen a lot of these guys in the field. Let's go up and down their lineup. Abraham Rudy, center field. I think he's everyone knows Abraham.
He impressed me a lot.
He won Gold Glove last year, and rightfully so. He was really good, and he's a good ball player, good hitter, big Abraham Rudy fan. Jack Harari playing third base, batting 2. Jack, line drive hitter, has pop. Really good third baseman. I think him moving to third.
He was supposed to be shortstop.
I was very impressed that he went with best player available.
He traded Teddy and he moved over third. I think
that was good.
Jack is a good shortstop. He's a great third baseman.
Right, I told him this. I said, you're a good shortstop. By moving to third, you're probably the best third baseman.
Teddy still has it. I know Teddy's up there.
Teddy had a great year last year.
Teddy had a career year last year. He's getting better with age.
Now, Adam Cohen. Oh, Teddy's batting third. Oh, what you said? Adam Cohen had a down year last year, but I think he's primed for a comeback year, bounce back year.
My favorite people in the entire league.
I love
first baseman.
Yeah, great guy.
So Adam, it's funny. Last year,
how many times did we play with Adam?
We love Adam.
No, so last year, offensively he did not hit, but defensively he made some unbelievable plays. Remember that play? He was tumbling and made the play, kept his foot on the bag. He's
you know how many errant throwing balls he saved from Stevens?
There you go. And then batting fifth,
the infamous short arm.
Batting fifth is the linchpin on their team. I think they're going to go as far as he goes as their starting pitcher, Yoni Sarfati. So I played with Yoni in Crown Heights a few years ago. To me, he's one of the best pure hitters in the league. And I'll hold to that even now, even with all these great hitters in the league this year. Pure hitter, contact, has pop, has enough pop. When I played with him, he was playing shortstop. I didn't really see him pitch. I watched him warm up a few times, but you actually saw him pitch.
Yeah, so I'll tell you, he came in for a couple innings or a game last year for Jackie Schrecky. He made our guys look silly. He was
knuckleball, right?
He was the guy I wanted before the season, before the draft went in, and you locked him with Jack. I was not happy about that, but he was unbelievable.
He's got a knuckleball.
He's got an unbelievable knuckleball. He had a couple of walks which bothered me, but I think with the right guys
behind him, keep him on the mound and he's fine. And then his brother batting 6, Sammy Sarfati. Also, he actually played in a tournament team with me. We won the championship that year. Good line drive hitter.
What does Sammy play?
Third base, first base, catcher. He's either a corner infielder or a catcher.
He's got to be the catcher on this team.
He's actually a really good catcher.
I think he's the first to have Jack at third.
And I think that
Mikey Shamma.
That battery made
Mikey doesn't catch anymore.
No, but that battery made.
Mikey's their
Mikey's their outfielder.
He's not catching now.
Yeah, no,
I mean, this team has they're a lot of infielders.
No, but that battery made of brothers. He doesn't want to catch him. I think it's fun to catch a brother.
That's cool. That's a good point.
Yeah, it's cool. And then I didn't know this going in, that Ralph Bilderici is actually really good friends with Jack, and that's why Jack took him over here. But Ralph last year, he was in the World Series team, or he was on the other team?
Bilderici. He beat me. It was Josh's team.
He was in Joe's team. Yeah. So Ralph, he's a really good. He's streaky line drive hitter.
He's Deadpool.
Deadpool. If he plays up the middle, short center field, I think he could have a good year. I think if you put him at third or anywhere else where
he won't be at third. They have
So I think it's a decent pick. Like, he could play second base, short center. And then Mikey Shamma, I think he was taken in a really good spot.
Good hitter.
Good hitter. He's improving every single year. I think he had a bunch of triples last year, and he's a lefty.
Playing like a righty.
Yeah, he's a threat at the plate. He really is.
I think.
Yeah. And then we have a guy that I don't really know much about, Alazar Dani, outfield. And then he's slotted in together with Ricky Schwecke in that spot in the lineup playing third base. Ricky holds down third base.
That was another surprise.
Ricky's out. Ferrari's playing third.
Yeah, I had him over here listed as 3B TBD, which might be on the block.
Well, he's already set a couple.
Maybe he's at second base, short center, or maybe he's traded.
His best position is third base, which means you probably should be talking to him.
Which we know about. Let me just tell you, he is talking to him.
We're not getting too far because he's
very
wants
he's
Mike Trout for.
He's a little menage a trois, right?
We don't have Mike Trout.
Huh?
You don't have Mike Trout.
Well, whoever Mike Trout would be on my team, that's what he wants.
Ibrahim? Is that
No, he doesn't want Ibrahim. He actually, if you want me to say, he wants DC, and I refuse to go with DC.
That's not good. So, Alazar Dani outfield. I know he's.
I heard he's got a lot of talent.
I heard he actually has a lot of color personality also.
Yes. Which is right in with the usual.
That's what I'm saying. The usual suspect team is a lot of color. Jesse Cohen playing second base.
Excellent. He was a great second baseman for you.
Victor Schrem. You know what's funny? He got him at the end, 12th round pick. He's going to be the best 12th round pick in the draft, Victor Schrem. He's always on base. He's a big walking guy. We know Steven loves him. Listen, I think this team...
We won a championship many years ago.
That's right.
This team...
He's a great hitter.
Yeah.
Good hitter. Good
pull hitter.
Had some pull hitter and nice pop.
This team, my draft
grade... Like Hank in the summer, that just goes... I don't know why, he just doesn't get drafted so early. He's a good player.
My draft grade is actually a C- for this team. I think this team is again, if they could prove me wrong, it's all going to come down to Yoni Sarfati.
So my understanding, you have me, Steven, and them as the three.
We'll get to it in a minute. I think if you guys, there's a ton of volatile personalities. If they come together, I'll be dead wrong, and they're going to shut me up. If Yoni takes control of the team, they'll be fine.
A little premature on that, Steven. Is that an issue for you?
That's it. You take it from me one time, and there you go.
Listen, my two teams, we're going predictions right now. Obviously, it's meaningless because it's all on paper. But there's two teams that don't make the playoffs in this format. So the two teams that I believe will not make the playoffs is number one, the Sandlot. And number two, like we just said, the usual suspects.
That's
right. I don't think Joe's making the playoffs. Listen, I'm usually wrong. Let's get that out of the way.
Yes, because last year in the summer, you predicted who not to make the playoffs.
Who cares? But
there's no shot Joe doesn't make the playoffs.
The team that won the World Series.
I don't know.
There's certain things that Brooklyn League, Joe S. is going to be there. It's just a fact.
Listen, like we said,
Joe's not here to defend himself. He's on diaper duty.
But again,
he's not making the playoffs.
But let's talk about
it. If he was here, there's no way Sam's saying this.
I would take the gong. Wait, so let me tell you something. There's 50 plus new players in the league, so these predictions are meaningless. I don't really know. There's no way of knowing. The draft grades we can talk about. It's all based on scouting reports. It's all based on how we feel people. But it's nonsense. But those two teams, me saying not making the playoffs, they could be the two teams in the World Series for all I know. But either way, we just went through every single team. As you see, last year to this year, night and day difference. The league is literally head and heels above where it was, and it's only getting better. We're very excited. We have. Let's have final statements from all of you. Whatever you got to say. Kat, what do you got?
Me first.
Go.
I do think that the quality of the players in the league this year is tremendous. Sammy, you and Max have done a great job bringing in some really good talent. It's very exciting. Having played in the league for 32 years, this is my 32nd year, consecutive year in the league, and I don't remember.
I'm 33, and you're in the league for 32 years. It's wild.
From when I was 18, when I first started playing, haven't missed the season, and I have to tell you that I don't remember a season where there was this much excitement. Whoever wins, whoever doesn't win, we're all going to have a great time, and it's going to be very, very competitive and very solidly played games.
Right.
Well pitched and
Gong them up. Next. Right.
As many know, I'm very big on the community softball, growing and being strong. And I cannot tell you how excited I am for the season, because the truth is, there's so much new blood, and that really just adds a lot, because a lot of guys who haven't played in a while, from the community are back in, a few guys coming from Jersey, and a lot of guys coming in. It's great, and the truth is, I think this is going to be the start of something really special, so I'm very excited.
Amen. Steve?
I think my team, this is not my team point in the show, but I think the fact that I get to be that role model, I love it as a person. I love teaching, and I love What?
No.
So without being the captain.
I love, you know, I'm not gonna hit my mouth shut. I'm gonna be vocal when it comes to do what we should be doing, what we shouldn't be doing. But as far as the subs and the lineups and all that nonsense, David's gonna do that stuff. But I think this is very exciting for me personally, and for the fact I'm the oldest in the league now. It's crazy.
Not the oldest.
I'm older than you.
I'm the oldest in the league now.
His career is older than you.
Oh my God.
Very excited.
Next, Dave.
All right, so second year in the league, I'm really looking forward. Last year, a little question mark, but again, looking at the talent that came in.
You got to hit rock bottom before you go up.
Yes, and I think we definitely hit rock bottom. But looking at all the teams across the board, you can't sit there and say anyone is specifically very weak or very, very strong. It really looks balanced across the board. And I'm looking forward to a great season. And I can't wait to get out there.
It's going to be great. So we're less than a month away, God willing, weather permitting, from opening day. The jerseys, by the way, they're gorgeous. Oh, I want to make one point, if you're all watching still, it's been a long show, but code of conduct in the field is very important. We're going to be enforcing it. There's going to be a no tolerance on cursing. I'm going to instruct the umpires. If it gets too testy, there will be ejections. So keep your cool. There's a lot of new guys, but there's going to be a lot of desire to win. So usually that increases people's it brings out excitement. That's the right word. Yeah. So we're gonna everyone try to keep it cool. We're all here to win, but that's number one.
PG-13.
Yeah, PG-13. Not all.
Mandatory jerseys, right?
Okay, number two. The jerseys are gorgeous. They really are. Button downs with designs and stuff. They are mandatory to wear. If you do not wear your jersey, you will get a fine somehow. Whether it be a money fine, I'm not sure yet, or whether it be a penalty. Yes, or whether it be a penalty on your team losing a run or an out or something. Everyone must wear their jerseys. And if it doesn't fit you for whatever reason, you got to wear the color of your team, a T-shirt or whatever it may be. That's number two, and I think that really covers it all up. I'm very excited. Like we all said, there's really nothing not to be excited about. We're all primed to go. Guys, hit the cages, and let's go. Shavua Tov. By the way, the date is the 9th of March, and there's still snow on the ground, but we're in softball full swing mode. March 31st, Sunday.
Weather permitting, right?
Weather permitting. All right, let's go. Have a great one, and enjoy.